Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I forgot to put out this video earlier. This past weekend, February 26th, 2017, the new NASCAR season kicked off. The big event for NASCAR is the first race of the year, the Daytona 500. NASCAR is kind of different. Their biggest race, their biggest event is number one. Instead of at the very end of the season, the most exciting race is the first. NASCAR's Super Bowl, or almost championship, if you will, is the first race of the season. So, anyway, this year, the big winner is Kurt Busch, the brother of Kyle Busch, who's been dominating NASCAR as of recent. Kurt and Kyle Busch are brothers born to Tom Busch, who is a former NASCAR driver. So, a little family affair, as we see so often in professional sports. Let me show you why this guy won the first race, the Daytona 500, this past weekend. Just like the rest of professional sports, NASCAR is scripted, planned finishes, exciting finishes. It's all predetermined before it even takes place. So Kurt Busch, the last time he was number one in NASCAR, he's number one right now because he won the first race of the season, but the last time he finished number one was 2004, 13 years ago. 13 years ago, he was number one. He drives the number 41 car. His car's number 41. 41's the 13th prime number. Special relationship. So it's been 13 years since he was number one. He begins the season number one. Plus there's a whole lot more. Check this out. Kurt Busch, who's number one right now, who won the Daytona 500, his birthday is August 4th, 1978. Got the same birthday as President Obama. That special date, August 4th, the 216th day of the year. United States of America equals 84. Before we talk about what's so interesting about his birthday and the win, I just want to point this out about his brother. His brother's Kyle Busch, who just won NASCAR in 2015. I think he was one of the top finishers last year. Kyle Busch in Gematria, which I was documenting a lot 2 years ago, sums to 106. Special number in sports, number of prophecy. And what we didn't know about 2 years ago was reverse ordinal gematria. Look at NASCAR in reverse ordinal. 106, just like Kyle Busch, who's one of the, biggest stars, attraction of the sport right now. Kyle Busch, a reflection of NASCAR in gematria. Kurt Busch, the brother who won the Daytona 500 this past weekend. What's interesting about his name is it has gematria 57, the number related with championships. February 26th is the 57th day of the year. NASCAR's championship kind of to start the season, the Daytona 500 on the 57th day of the year. Perfect the way it worked out this year. Remember when you write out 57 as a word, it sums to 131, just like when you write out championship, just like when you write out Super Bowl. World Series equals 57. NBA Finals equals 57 in reverse reduction. We see this number again and again around championships. March Madness is upon us. Last year, Villanova won the championship in their 57th tournament win ever. We saw the Cleveland Cavaliers finish the season with 57 wins last year before the playoffs. Talk about this number a lot, 57. So it's coded in the name Kurt Busch. He wins on the 57th day of the year, the Daytona 500, 13 years since being number one, watching his little brother dominate as of recent. Here's where it gets even more interesting. From his birthday, August 4th, to the win on February 26th is 6 months and 22 days. 6 months and 22 days. From the win to his upcoming birthday is also 22 weeks and 6 days. 622-226. The date of this event was February 26th, 2/26. 226, special number connected to Saturn, the keeper of time. Number we talk about often, and with regards to NASCAR and this number 226, they have something in the sport called the big one, which equals 226. That's anytime 5 or more cars are involved in a crash at one time. They just had that on February 26th. They had one of their wrecks that they called the big one. So the number has relevance to the sport. It's a number we see again and again. It's one of the very important numbers in this study. Again, the people who control the world of professional sports, who rig them, they are Freemasons. They are aware of esoteric knowledge such as Gematria. They use it to script their sports and truly the lives of their planned stars, such as these two sons of a former NASCAR driver who now, get to be champions at the sport. Both brothers have been champions. So I thought I'd look at the brother who didn't win, Kyle Busch. His birthday is May 2nd, 1985. I want to point this out. The date of the race this year that Kurt Busch just won was a date with 65 numerology. In Gematria, Florida equals 65, and this race was 65 days before Kyle Busch's upcoming birthday. I don't think that's coincidental. I think that's a sign that we're going to see Kyle Busch do something big this year. His birthday being May 2nd is also very interesting. 5/2, kind of like the number 52. We talked about how his name equals 106. 106 and 52 go together. They're the numbers of prophecy. He has a fitting birthday for his name, Gematria. Also, Florida in reduction Gematria sums to 38. Kurt Busch is currently 38 years old, who just won the Daytona 500s in Florida. At age 38, he wins the first race of the year, the big race. Kurt equals 38 too. Again, he's 38 years old right now. His little brother's 31, about to turn 32. But a lot of people ask me about NASCAR. They say, hey, Zach, is NASCAR rigged by the numbers the same way you expose the other sports? Now we say, yes, it's the exact same thing. Just measure from the driver's birthday to the date of the race. I just told somebody this on my radio show either last week or the week before. Somebody called in and asked about this. And I said, oh, yeah, if you want to see how NASCAR is rigged, measure from the birthday to the date of the race. You'll see how it often syncs up with the date of the race, just like we covered here. Race on 2/2/6, and the winner, his birthday is what? 6 months and 22 days? The last birthday, the next birthday is 22 weeks and 6 days. Couldn't get any more perfect. And again, keep in mind the number on the car. Of course, that's important. We're talking about rigged by the numbers, so numbers on the car, very important. Here, number 41, the 13th prime, ranked number 1 for the first time in 13 years. Might just be a 1-week tribute. We'll see what's going to happen. I don't know the sport of NASCAR all that well. I just know that pro sports are rigged. Where there's gambling, there's rigging. The people who run the show, they got to make sure they earn. And that's why these sports are so often family affairs. People born into the gang, know what it's all about, raised into it. So we'll wrap it up there. True Seeker, I'll link these posts down below if you want to read them or share them. Oh, I'll tell you one more thing before we go. The NASCAR season, it boils down to something called the Chase. There's 16 finalists for the Chase. We're just going to use English reduction Gematria. 16 has Gematria of 33, just like the Chase, the final event. 33, always significant as well. It's Freemasonry that's running the show. 33, the number of Freemason obsession. Kurt Busch also happens to have a name with 33 Gematria. So anyway, the numbers, very relevant in NASCAR, just as they are in all the Masonic creations. Freemasonry, they name their things accordingly. If I'm not mistaken, Sprint also still sponsors the Chase. Sprint also 33, the phone company. The Chase 16 Sprint, none of it by coincidence. All right, True Seeker, until next time.